Welcome in, friends. Today, I'm going to teach you how to change a tire. Listen, I know a lot of y'all are probably thinking, but hey, we know how to change a tire. Well, then this video ain't for you. No offense. I mean, you're welcome to stick around and watch. And please do. But what I've learned as I'm getting a little grayer in the beard is that there's a lot less people who know how to do what we would possibly deem as just common task. And so, if you don't know how to change a tire, I'm going to teach you right now. All right, so first what we're going to show you is we're going to bust these lug nuts loose while the vehicle is still on the ground. You think, why? Why would we do that? Well, I'm going to do it by hand as if I was on the side of the road. All right, and if you've ever tried to break lug nuts loose on a wheel that's dangling up in the air, the wheel's going to spin, right? The tire's just going to spin. You're trying to crank on it and the tire's spinning, and that's not doing you any good. So what you want to do is while the vehicle's still sitting on the ground, the weight of the vehicle is going to hold the tire still for you. So then you can break the lug nuts loose. Now, just break them loose. We're not taking them off or anything like that. We're just loosening them so that once we get it up in the air, we can go ahead and back them off the rest of the way. Okay? So let's do that first. All right, so for this, it's not really a whole lot of real science to this, right? You take your breaker bar, or if you're on the side of the road, you're going to be using probably your car's factory lug wrench, right? But I actually don't have one for this vehicle, so I'm using just a standard 1/2 inch breaker bar. And listen, if you travel by yourself, my advice would really be carry a decent breaker bar in the trunk, all right? They have multiple purposes. One of those being to breaking your lug nuts loose easier. Also, what you could do is buy you an inexpensive, yeah, this is a green one, I understand. Listen, it'll be fine. Get you an inexpensive one. Keep it in the trunk, and when you need it, right? But we're just gonna bust these loose quick. There's no order to this as far as taking them off. All right, you can just, well, y'all hear everything pop there? That was my shoulder. Oh, okay. Some of y'all are probably making fun of my white dad tennis shoes here, but that's what we got. All right, so we got them loose. Enough so that when we when we jack the car up, we can get them loose without the tire spinning. Yeah? All right, let's jack it up. Now, every vehicle's different, all right? But this is a unibody vehicle, and you can tell that it's been lifted in the wrong spot before. I don't know who would have done that, but anyway, what you want to look for on a unibody vehicle, meaning it does not have a subframe, right, is this pinch weld right here. And usually, the lift point is indicated by a dimple in the pinch weld, okay? So that's where you want your jack to sit. And so you just get her in there and put it on that pinch weld, right? And that's where you want to jack it up at. And all you got to do, we don't have to go all the way to Mars with this vehicle. You just got to get the tire off the ground, right? It's not a big deal. So then now that we've got it loose, we can take our wrench, we can just hold the tire, and we can spin it off. Now, if you had a 4-way or a standard lug wrench, you could do this. Just hold the tire, you can spin them loose. Now, I have an impact, and so for the sake of time, I'm just going to run these off here real quick. See how I did that there? Now the tire was stuck. So you just hit it real good with your palms up on the top or on the side, and it'll pop loose now. Oh, that's a big old cricket. Look at him. Now, this has been on here for a while. We don't really drive this vehicle. Go away. We don't drive this vehicle. In fact, I'm getting ready to just put it up for sale. If anybody needs a used old van and you live in West Tennessee, holler at me. We can make something work. All right. So set her up there on the studs. And listen, this ain't NASCAR, okay? You start your lug nuts, okay? Don't put them in your impact and start them. That's how you strip out threads, and that's how you end up having to replace wheel studs. It don't take but just a second. You don't take just a second. Get in there and just start them, right? You don't cross thread. I mean, cross thread's better than no thread. I agree, but anyway, just start them. I tend to put them on the bottom. I didn't do that this time, but because it's a lightweight tire. But if it's heavy, if it's a heavy tire, stick it up there, push it up in place, and start your bottom one first. All right, and that'll keep the whole thing from falling off the wheel, off the hub there. All right, so we just run. Is this a 19? No. Okay. You go in a cross pattern. It helps to ensure that the wheel is seated on there flat. And you just need it tight, right? You're not trying to break the lugs off. It just needs to be tight. Boy, that old lug socket has seen some days. Anyway, so that's the gist of it. Now all we got to do is let her down. We'll put our wheel cover back on. Now, when you need to line up your valve stem inside your wheel cover, you'll notice, if you have wheel covers, all right, it's a cheap man, you'll notice a recess right here. That's for your valve stem to go through. So you just line those up, just pop it on there, and that's it. We've changed the tire. Now all you got to do is set her down and carry on about your day. Well, it's just like that, folks. That tire has been changed. So we just got to set the vehicle down, and then we're off to the races. Now listen, like I said, I know inevitably that there is a keyboard mechanic out there that is going to say, well, Bo, you didn't torque them. You didn't put a torque wrench on it and torque them to the manufacturer's specific torque rating for those lug studs. Yeah, you're right. I didn't. Because when you're on the side of the interstate, odds are you don't have a torque wrench. What you want is tight. What I typically go with if I'm doing them by hand is I listen. When you start tightening it down, when you tighten it down and it gets tight, and you get to the point where when you tighten it, you hear it squeak against the wheel, right? You hear it creak and get tight, or you feel your elbow pop, whichever one. That's usually tight enough for that circumstance. Now, when you get to a place and the ability to put a torque wrench on it or to make sure that it's good and tight, yeah, you should do that. But this will get you off the side of the road, hopefully get you back home and back to civilization. So anyway, hope this helps somebody. If you liked it, please feel free to subscribe and drop a comment down there in the bloop bloop box. We sure do appreciate that. I do want to say that if this channel ever gets monetized, which is not really what I'm after, I just want to share some knowledge and experience with folks. But if it ever did get monetized, I just want y'all to know that any of the proceeds that I make off of these videos will be donated to a 501c3 nonprofit called Our 72 Ministries, which is a faith-based independent living training facility for teens and young adults who are aging out of foster care system and or living in homelessness. Um, and so we are they are doing great work and are very much in the infant stages of putting that ministry together. But we want to support that in whatever way we can. So I appreciate you all. Again, I hope this helps somebody. God bless you. We'll see you later.